You know what we've had to do, really. I mean, because of the economy, is we had to make a conscious decision. Where is our focus going to be in real estate? And we decided it would be in the core of Bennington, downtown area. We looked at different properties that we had, and we said, all right, we don't know how long it's going to take in this economic downturn to sell some of these. Certainly, we'd like to sell these properties without losing money. Can we do that? We didn't know.
But I mean, there was a time when you did a lot of investing in real estate locally. And I'm just wondering if that's something you'd like to get back to if the economy turns around, or if now you think, well, I'd rather.
I wouldn't mind doing it. Well, go back to what we did. So we made kind of a circle and areas that we said we need to focus on. And so if you look, we actually have been very successful. We sold the ChemFab building. We sold the Wright Dahl. We sold Wright Dahl, their building that they were in. So things that were outside the core, we have been successful. Bill has been the leader on that, at selling those properties. We also have been successful at selling the condominiums in Bennington. And it's on the drawing board right now. We think we're going to go ahead now with phase 2.
But those condominiums sold for far less than you were
correct
hoping to
exactly right
sell for. So
we've reduced the price. We have not lost money, but we have not made the money we need really to make. Mm-hmm. But we've reduced debt, and right now that's really what we need to do is to reduce debt. And we've done a couple of deals with certain banks in town, like Bank of Bennington, who's been good. And we've been working with Bank of Bennington. We've had a good relationship with Berkshire Bank. So those banks have worked with us and have been on board with us. We recently established a relationship with TD Bank North. We're also working with Chittenden Bank too. One of the banks that has been extremely difficult to work with is Merchants Bank, and we at once had a great relationship with them. And they decided that they don't want to be in the market. They don't want to work with us. And so we don't work with them anymore. So to answer your question, the economy has necessitated myself personally to focus more on the art business. Because the thing that always worked for me was the art business. The thing that was always my main source of revenue, the thing that was driving my employees. I got a big responsibility, almost 100 employees. We fluctuate. At one time we had 120. So the art business is critical to me, not only for me to make revenue, but for me to stay, for my employees to make revenue. So as the economy worsened, we didn't see any bright spots in the real estate portfolio, so we started to try and hunker down, reduce the prices, clean up things that were not in our sweet spot, and we followed the plan pretty well. And so to answer your question is, would we get back in real estate? Yeah, I think we would. Right now, we are just looking at things. If we looked at an acquisition, it would have to be completely opportunistic. And
something that would turn a quick buck.
Not necessarily turn a quick buck, but something that would be priced at the right amount that we could sustain a hold period until the economy comes back.
So the goal is to get rid of anything outside of that core of downtown Bennington.
Yeah, and we've been doing that.
Okay. Was 210 sort of a make or break deal? That would have been a long-term lease with the state of Vermont. There would have been some steady cash flow, and probably could have sustained some of these other buildings that you're now looking to sell off.
210 right now. 210. We have a lease arrangement with the Vermont Country Store, which they've been honoring, which ends in November. Mm-hmm. So 210. Is a building that we need to get a tenant.
It becomes a liability after November.
It does. Yeah. And so that's a liability. But with the empty buildings that you have, we have the Panda Garden that's empty. That's a liability. we have the CB building. A lot of that's empty. That's a liability. So the pluses in the portfolio do not cover the liabilities. We're close, but we're not there.
You mentioned you're not making any money on these real estate endeavors.
No, not right
so
now.
Realistically, how long can you go on at this?
I'm not. I mean, we're at a deficit, but it's not a massive deficit right now, and I don't think it's going to get any worse than it has been. Mm-hmm. So I think we've hit kind of the bottom. So if we get lucky, and we've been working very, very hard at trying to rent some more of the buildings, we'll be okay, and we'll be in a mode that we're able to sustain. Mm-hmm. And so how long can I go on? I mean, I can go on at that rate. I can go on for a very long time. State office building, yes, that would have. I mean, I'm biased, right? I have the things, and I would have loved to have it because it would have helped us.
Right.
But I think it also would have helped the entire vision and mission of what we've been trying to do to make downtown a vibrant, successful, economically viable location.
Has that experience really broken your trust with the state in terms of how you might deal with them in the future? I know they pulled out some old documents, found out there might be some air quality issues. Mm-hmm. You pumped in a ton of money to address that situation, and then they end up going in a different direction anyway.
Right.
Why would you pump all that money into this air system without any assurances that they were going there? Or were you misled at all?
No. We weren't misled by the state. Well, the only exception is that I think we were being held up to a higher standard than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I challenge you, do the same test in the town of Bennington's office building. Now shut that building down. We were being held to a higher level of air quality than the state holds even themselves to. Mm-hmm. But what had happened was the state, because they're inexperienced in this, leaked this information out. Now maybe they just simply didn't want to be in that building. Okay. But they hurt us by doing that because you know how people think. This is a problem. It was way, way, way blown out of proportion. So for the benefit of the people that we had a responsibility to in our building, we invested $93,000 to put that air system in to make it the best air quality probably in any building in the state of Vermont. But, I think that the state mismanaged, how they release information to the public, and it was completely miscategorized. And all we were used as a tool for the state to actually get maybe what they ended up desiring. You see, at this point, I really am a political novice, truly, on how these things work.
Jack, you mentioned the banks you work with earlier. I think there's some curiosity about private investors you may work with and what role they play in the development decisions you make.
Yeah, basically what ended up happening is I have a partner, his name's Aaron Young, who lives in Baltimore. He's an art dealer. He has supported, investments in things that I've wanted to do over the last 15 years. And basically, he has high net worth individuals who he's friendly with. And, they'll come up here, play some golf. I'll show them a project that I want to do. It's done professionally. And basically because of Aaron and his relationship with these folks, they've become friendly with me, and they say, you know what? Okay, I'll invest some money with you, and let's see if we can make something happen up here. So that's what's happened. It's really, the decision to do things generally is from the Vermont team. If we go out and we do a pro forma and it makes sense, we generally have a group of individuals, or in the past, we've had a group of individuals who have said, yeah, I'm players. I'll come in and I'll work with you. And, that's really what's happened. It's been my strong vision and my strong belief in the state of Vermont as a businessman, as a property owner, as a father, as somebody who wants to stay in this community. Those have all been values that have been imparted on investors who 100% are outside the state of Vermont, and they pony up money as well as myself to do these projects. I tell you, the state of Vermont and how they handle the downtown situation left a bad taste in all these guys' mouths, because they thought that the state of Vermont was actually beyond, above that type of political rancor, and clearly, from our perspective, it wasn't. They're not going to do any more. Those people are not going to do any more deals with me in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Would they like to get out? Yeah, but they're the type of individuals who can hold for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll hold until it's right, and I'll get them out.
But they won't be back.
Those people won't be back. Those people won't be back.